Hayden, how are you?
Good. How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Gotcha.
You guys haven't played in 10 months. Special teams has kind of determined a lot of games in these, first 6 weeks in both the pro game and the college game. Um, a lot of people look at you as a leader on that. What is your message to your teammates about how important your guys' job is to winning and losing games, especially this season?
Yeah, special teams is one of those things, it's fourth down and that's it. You don't get a second chance. So I think the message is looking at those games in the first couple of weeks, like you said, how important special teams have been to the outcome of the game. It's just, do your job as best as we can. We've been fortunate enough to have somewhat of a fall camp that's been relatively normal, even though a bit delayed. So in that sense, it's still business as usual. But yeah, there's definitely the emphasis on fourth down. That's it. Be at your best when it counts the most. Do your job. Because if you don't, we've seen the results.
All right, Kevin, then Stefan.
Hayden, I was just curious, as an international student, did you get a chance to make it back to Australia at all during the pandemic, or were there kind of roadblocks there, and what did you do during that period of time?
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to go home, with school, and then obviously travel restrictions was the main thing. So didn't get a chance to head back home at all, which was a little disappointing. But at the same time, it was probably for the best, because knowing how long this pandemic's gone on already and how long, it's probably foreseen to go on in the future, I might not have been able to get back into the States if I chose to go home. So but yeah, being here allowed me to get a lot of good off-season work in that I'm really confident with. And I probably won't get to have mum or dad or any family members come over for the season, but that's all part of the new normal now. So either way, yeah, looking forward to just getting out there and playing this year.
Or Stefan, then Matt.
And Coach Teagarden just talked a little bit about kind of your leadership with the special teams unit. As one of the older guys on the team, how much is that something you take upon yourself to provide that role for that phase of the game?
Yeah, I think it's a unique combination of age, being a little bit older, combined with experience. And that is something that I've sort of taken upon myself to project that experience onto maybe some of the younger guys who haven't had as much game experience or even just experience at the college level. So yeah, definitely something that I've taken upon myself to take that next step from being a leader of the specialist group to a leader of special teams and the team in general. But at the end of the day, I still have to do my job to earn that respect from the rest of the team. And that's something that I've been working on really hard this off season.
All right, Matt and John.
Hey, Hayden, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. You mentioned the new normal. Coach Teagarden just talked about, somebody asked him about long snappers and how to prepare in case if there's somebody gets sick or whatever. They've worked out like 4 or 5 guys. For you, I'm sure that's a little bit different because I'm guessing in practice you would mainly work with Sean or whoever the number one long snapper is. How's that gone, and is it a big adjustment or has it gone pretty smoothly for you?
Yeah, a little bit of an adjustment. Obviously, Sean's a really high caliber long snapper. But the other guys that back him up, whether it's been people who have played long snapper in high school or people who are just, trying it out and trying something new, everyone's been really good and shown that they can do it at a level that'll stand up in, practicing games. So a little bit of a transition in that regard, but the way that those guys have been able to perform thus far has made it a lot easier transition. And I think, God forbid, if something did happen to Sean, I think we would still be okay.
All right, John, go ahead.
Obviously, you just said that you couldn't go back to Australia, but you were in the States. So, what was your kind of workout regimen like, I guess, during the pandemic? Obviously, punting you can do in a pretty socially distant way. So, how much work do you feel like you're able to get in? And was there anything you felt like you were able to improve on, I guess, during the off season?
Yeah, it was a little bit difficult, especially for the first couple of months when everything was shut down. I know a lot of guys would have gyms or places to work out where they would go home. But, everything being shut down here in Bloomington, it was a little bit touch and go for a bit. So, like you said, punting, though, is a unique position where, I can sort of get that work in without having to have anyone else around. So the biggest challenge was, just even finding public parks that were open that I could go and kick at when the stadium was shut down. It was a little bit of a challenge, but we always managed to find something that would work. And it allowed me to get a lot of good just off-season work in on, consistency more than anything with hang time and distance. So very fortunate to still have been able to get some work in, even when everything was shut down.